For the recording, this is round 2 of Fight Night 3. We have Juzza and Dylan Kidd in the winner's bracket. And let's see what happens. Good luck to the players. So this is Mardu Lurrus versus, I assume, Jeskai. Technically, Juzza showed us like a Zagos triumph, but I assume that's just for like leyline binding. Notably, both players have a companion. We have Lurrus versus Lutri. Dylan is mulling to 5 and Juzza is keeping 7. Jeskai Miracles. Yeah, Jeskai Miracles sounds about right. Oh, he has EA? Yeah, sure, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, presenting for the 4th color, leyline binding and EA. Makes sense. Alright, so Dylan's starting us off with a turn 1 Guide of Souls. Is there at least one miracle spell that's enough to call it miracles? I think that's a bit of a stretch. Triumph of St. Catherine is, like, yeah, it has miracle. But unless you're playing, like, Terminus or Top, I don't know. Like, would you call Metamorphosis Fanatic decks miracle decks? That seems a bit disingenuous. You would? Yeah, okay. Well, I sensed that I'd be losing that fight, but I decided to ask anyway. Wasteland your archive bashful one. Alright. Well, Juzza has 7 cards in hand, and Dylan has 3. But Dylan has permanence in play, which currently Juzza technically doesn't. Calling it now, he's playing all of them. We're going to see a Bonfire of the Damned. Alright, Juzza, I don't know if you're in the stream and listening, but if you put a Bonfire of the Damned on the stack, I will give you $10. I don't even care how much it's for. I haven't actually looked at his deck list. If it has a Bonfire in it, I could just straight up lose $10. But I'm taking a safe line and assuming that he does not have one in his deck, because that would be insane. I was hoping we might see the 8-point Manifest Dread list. I don't think that's being played today, is it? Yeah, I didn't see it in the deck list. Otherwise, I would have featured it. That deck's really sick. But, I didn't see it when I did a little scout. Oh, I was just hoping they'd have shown up. They might show up in future. We'll see. Bonfire good versus Ocelots. I mean, lots of things are good versus Ocelot, Pride. You don't need to put Bonfire of the Damned in your deck to beat a 1-drop. You can just play good cards. If you're looking to get better at 7-point Highlander, play more good cards and less bad cards. That's my hot tip of the day. Alright, so back to the match. Dylan is adding an Inti to his threat base. Growing Guide of Souls. Inti is dying to a Heat. Juzza notably has lost his white mana after the Wasteland. So he's currently rocking 2 blue-red lands, and he just suspended an Ancestral Vision. Oh. Look, I love Ancestral Vision, but after many, many discussions with my lovely friend Kate, I came to accept that we need to stop putting AV into our decks. Wait for the... Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously he's doing it with Lutri. That's like the whole thing. Billinghurst told me to just play fun bad cards, though. Look, I mean, you can do what you like. I did preface that with, if you want to do better at Highlander, you need to play less bad cards. Well, Flage cleared the Guide of Souls, which got picked up by Samwise. And now Dylan is one step towards the ring. I don't know how good or bad this is. I don't know if Dylan... I mean, we know Dylan will have time to buy Lurrus. I just don't know if it'll be enough. Because Jazza has 4 cards in hand. At some point, that's going to jump to like 8. Which is pretty scary. Jazza is getting thought seized for a stern scolding, a spell pierce, a subtlety, and an electrolyze. Jazza's playing an electrolyze? This is so sick. We have electrolyze and ancestral vision. And the thought seize has to take the electrolyze. That's fucking gas. Spawn says, if you have enough bad cards in your deck that can have a resonance effect. Yeah, look, if you put a card like Ornithopter in your deck is probably better because of the Ornithopter. Like, it's very much, you know, a cohesive card, as opposed to just playing the best cards in your colors at each CMC. But in saying that, because this format is singleton and you can't play 4 Ornithopters, some of the time you're just going to draw a bunch of the bad cards and none of the good cards. I saw Flame of Anor get Lutrid with Tamio in play. I mean, yeah, that'll win the game. I imagine slightly less of that will also win the game. Electrolyze is fine, but Bonfire isn't. No, Electrolyze is not fine. Electrolyze is absolutely not fine in 2024. I just think that, like, for some reason, and this is inexplicable after the last 2 events, Jazza has decided to become the people's champion. And he's playing a Library of Alexandria control deck with Electrolyze and Ancestral Vision. What the hell is this? Oh, is it Flage? Yeah, sure. Jazza has my vote. Yeah, I mean, this deck's sweet. I think it's crazy. Hasn't updated it. What do you mean he hasn't updated? He's playing a Flage. He has resigned himself to play some of the good cards. He's just surrounding them with bad cards, which I can respect. I mean, I've put Mantis Rider in decks, but I actually think that card's really well positioned, so that's a whole other thing. Yeah, the spell base is old school. Sheoldred's Edict, eat your Flage, Kraken for 2. Alright. Well, we know Dylan has a Lurrus in hand. That's Dylan's 1 card in hand. And he has the board. However, Jazza's AV is about to pop, which is going to put him at 8 cards in hand. So if in those 4 cards, or in those 8 cards, there is a library, then he's going back to 8 cards and making this land room. This is nonsense. His uncle works for Wizards. Oh my god. He swapped out Lightning Helix for Flage. Yeah, I mean, that's reasonable. Lightning Helix is not playable in 2024. That card is so bad. Night, Graham. Thanks for stopping by. Back to the game. I mean, Dylan has the board. I assume he's not going to keep the board for very long. Dress down, sure. Turns off the Darcy. So Jazz is taking 3. Unless he puts an Electrolyze on the stack. Oh yeah, make a 3/3. What did he pitch? Spell Pierce. Yeah, that's fair. Alright, well, he gets to block, take some damage. He might be able to counter this Lurrus. I mean, if Dylan plays Lurrus this turn, he can't cast anything anyway because of Dress Down. Bit of a surprising turn cycle. Just because, like, both players had so much mana, and a lot of mana got floated, which is kind of crazy. You know, a card that's not good enough, which makes me think. Lingering Souls is not good enough. Lingering Souls can't be good enough. People are playing Electrolyze and Bonfire of the Damned. You can't put Lingering Souls in your deck. Alright, here comes Fledge. Round 3. Alright, GG. Juzza wins game 1 against Dylan. I don't think there's much Dylan could have done there. I mean, he mulled to 5, and it's, you know, a mid-range deck versus ostensibly a control deck. And Dylan's usual equity of having a companion is offset, because obviously Juzza also has a companion. I think post-board Dylan should gain a little bit more equity than Juzza does, but it's not going to be by a large margin. And because Juzza wins game 1, he has 2 more games to draw a library in his opening hand, which is not something that people actively think about, but if you don't draw a library, but you do win the game, you have more time to draw a library, which is a nice way to offset the absolute polarizing nature of that card. Just want a Lingering Souls and Skull Clamp? Yeah, look, if you want a Lingering Souls and Skull Clamp, I will not stop you. However, I can let you know for free that you will unfortunately probably lose. People aren't playing Skull Clamp right in 2024. At the moment, you shouldn't be clamping X1s. You should be clamping X2s and dealing a bunch of damage and making it really difficult for your opponent to interact with you. The format is way too fast to just be cracking X1s. That's another hot tip, by the way. Alright, going into game 2, Dylan will have the play. Both players will have their companions again. I think on average, Juzza should be decently favored. I think Lurrus is a more powerful companion than Lutri, but Juzza will have more meaningful ways to interact with Lurrus than Dylan will have to interact with Lutri. Both players keeping 7, which is good. Dylan has got a turn 1 Duress, which is hitting a Lorien, a Flame of Anor, an Evasive Action, or a Vacuum, and the rest of the hand is Hallowed Fountain, Island, Lorien, Revealed Pyrogope. Sure. Notably, Dylan had a turn 1 discard spell, which would actually beat an opening hand library. So if you want to know why library isn't 2 points, so decently slow start here for Juzza. I mean, his plan was to play a turn on Vacuum, but that got duressed. And now his hand is kind of clunky. He's got like a counter spell and a removal spell and a 4-drop. So if Dylan can get on board really hard and fast now, oh boy. Well, 2 mums will beat infinite removal spells. It is going to be very slow, but that's pretty good. It's actually not illegal to register original Innistrad standard bag as trifle. I can't stop you from registering anything. Do what you like. I can stop you registering, 10 points. But even then, can't really. Dylan missing his third land drop there. Might have Ophelia, might have an interactive spell, might have some 3-drops and no lands. Does have Double Mum active now, though, which is a big deal. Cathar Commando. That's a neat little guy. Sleeves Huntmaster of the Fells? Oh my god. Alright. Cypher, if you can win a game with Huntmaster of the Fells on coverage, I will give you $10. Now, a couple of caveats here. It has to be because it's Huntmaster and not because it's a creature and your opponent has run out of removal spells. So it has to be because it's 2 creatures, or because you gain the life, or because it flipped and dealt a bunch of damage. It has to be any of the aspects of Huntmaster that make it uniquely Huntmaster to win the bounty. But otherwise, there you go. Back to the game. End of turn, Cathar Commando got evasive actioned. Dylan does have a meaningful follow-up with Nethergoyf here, which is a pretty big deal. This creature is really big, and is incredibly safe at the moment. I don't know if Juzza has a sweeper, like an actual terminus. Probably got a verdict. But has a draw step triumph, which is a big deal. Try to build a deck that was Huntmaster and Eldrazi Displacer, and then realize the deck was better when I cut Huntmaster and Eldrazi. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I might be registered. You can register Huntmaster. If you register Huntmaster and let me know in advance, I can make sure that you're on coverage for round 1. I got you. I will extend that bounty to Lingering Souls. We're going on a Dark Ascension journey. We love original Innistrad block. I mean, I love that block. It had so many bangers. But, I mean, it's 2024, guys. This attack is interesting. I mean, Dylan's got some kind of plan. Is it Bolt the Triumph? And just hope that Juzza doesn't draw it again? Yeah, okay. Souls is genuinely still very good. Way better than Home. Yeah, I mean, Souls is good at getting you the initiative and blocking the initiative. Juzza just flips the Triumph. Alright. Must be nice. This guy. Yeah, I would agree, Solito. Lingering Souls is definitely a better card than Huntmaster. Huntmaster is woefully bad. Like, at the very least, Lingering Souls does something that is very specifically good if you're trying to do that thing. Huntmaster was always just, like, a guy that was a little better than some of the other guys that you could play. Alright, Dylan's trying to kill this Triumph again. Hoping that he can crack in. Monclap's getting bebbed. We're probably not cracking in. I mean, we can block the Triumph, which is good. Dylan having 2 mums is like a big deal here. Juzza is buying Lutri. Probably gonna try to hold down the fort here. Dylan's probably gonna respond by buying Lurrus here. I think if I remember correctly, Juzza's last card is like No, I think he has like a Pyroglyph and a Flame of Anor in hand. Ocelot Pride, let's go! Really doesn't do a whole lot on this board state. It would get bonfired. So, Jazza has Lurrus in hand now. Dylan has not been able to buy Lurrus. He's still committing to the board to go around the Triumph. And I would assume at some point soon he's going to try and use one of the mums to get through the Triumph. Or try and find another removal spell, but I can't imagine he has many removal spells. It's a bit of an anemic draw here, considering... I mean, this is Jazza's second Triumph now. Hydroblast countered the second removal spell, and he countered the first one by just drawing it again. So it's a pretty big deal. And technically, we can finally call Jazza's deck Miracles, because he Miracle Triumph twice this game. And as everyone knows, once you Miracle twice, that's when you qualify. This board stays real weird. Oh, okay. We got some stuff happening. It's gonna be Plow Lurrus, presumably. Just to clear out some of these guys. Then the Lurrus can block. The mum will be tapped, but will live through this turn. But the second plow probably goes here. And then give a targets. What's Giver targeting? Oh, Giver targeted mum again? I think we're meant to give Ocelot Pride per Wyatt there. Because now the Triumph blocks it for free. At the very least, if Ocelot Pride gets eaten by Lurrus, Jazza doesn't go to 22. That's probably enough of a swing turn. I don't know if Dylan's getting back in this game now. Unearth the Ocelot Pride gives you a 1/1. Okay. Strap Mine the Volk. Okay. Now Dylan is hellbent getting a 1/1. I like the double block by Jazza Good Fundies. Yeah, Jazza is Jazza has good fundies. That's a very that is at least 5% on why he's one of the best players. Because it doesn't matter what event it is, it doesn't matter what the stakes are. Everything is so ingrained that he won't do random misplays. Even if they're just technical misplays and they're not decision-based, you won't catch him doing that. Pyroblast the Lurrus. Well, if this goes through, we can maybe get the Ocelot Pride through. I mean, he still has 4 cards in hand, and Dylan still hasn't been able to buy Lurrus yet. It's not the cleanest spot. I'm not sure. If we're committing to mumming the Ocelot Pride, I'm not sure why we're not doing it pre-combat. or pre-blocks and actually getting a damage through. I don't think there's anything to gain by marking a damage on Triumph. I guess maybe you can get a bluff through if Juzza doesn't block. That's probably what it is. That'd be the main equity I see that you could gain. Oh boyo. Well, that's JJ. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It was what, a 2 and a bit for 1? What, 2 and a bit for 2? It looked more backbreaking than it actually was, but more importantly, the mum got tagged. Juzza pitched Electrolyze, which would have also killed a bunch of X1s, but because his Volt got stripped, he didn't have red, which is why Fury got cast. Because if he had red mana, he would have just Electrolyzed the Mum and the Oslo Pride and left the Fury for later. Electrolyze so strong. Yeah, the fact that it's a red card for Fury is definitely the selling point. Draws a Priz ending for the Nethergoyf. Oh, this has to be it. I mean, Dylan's next turn is Lurrus plus Mother of Runes, and is still dying to Triumph. Juzza notably hasn't found a red land since getting stripped. And Electrolyze can pitch to Force card as OP. I mean, you guys are just describing Fire Ice, but notably Fire Ice is probably a slightly better card. Maybe not. Force pitching Flame of Inor. Well, he had 2 blue-red cards to pitch to both blue and red spells. Literally never worried. Alright, now that Lurrus is down and this Triumph is still unanswered, I think this game will end very, very soon. Did Juzza register Fire Ice? No, God sucks. He might have registered Fire Ice. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, is it that dramatically different from Electrolyze? Shoulder's Edict, alright. At the very least, Dylan is not dead next turn. Unless he gets fired for 2. Lightning Bolt? Just Bolt face? Could be Flage. Oh yeah, it's the Pyrogo from the start of the game. GG's, Juzza wins 2-0 versus Dylan. Well played.